NTD. Anyway, Tammy, would you lead us in an invocation?
Yes, I will, Mark Fortin.
Got this.
You got that
Yes,
right.
he does.
I don't know if it's, is this loud enough for you guys? I'm not very
Loud.
loud.
Mark's working on turning it up.
You're loud enough. Yeah, I'm loud enough is right. Yeah,
They can switch our constitution, but they can't change the Bible.
there you go. Well, good evening, Patriots and Saints.
You can still use the Bible.
It's been a rough 48 hours, but it's got nothing to do with God's Word. As I pondered what He wanted to deliver tonight, what I came across were these three scriptures, and I'm hoping that it will be a warm blanket for your soul, and it's all about peace. Philippians 4, 6, 7. Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace that passes all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
Oh, we're not done. Forget that. Oh, no. We got three.
We're saying amen.
John 16:33. I've told you these things so that in me you will have peace in this world. You will have trouble, yeah, but take heart. I've overcome the world.
Amen.
And lastly, Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers. That would be us. For they will be called the children of God. Lord, we commit this evening into your hands. Lord, you see the hearts and minds of all of us here. You see it all. There's no surprises. There's no emergency in heaven as to what everyone is going through. So, Lord, we invite you into this place. We give you all the honor and all the glory in your rightful place as our number one. In Jesus' name, and all God's people said.
Amen. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy.
Pledge the flag.
Cliff Ross, would you lead us in a pledge?
Here he comes. Here,
Oh,
Mark.
there he is. Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Cliff.
You should tell them, Mark, you should tell them, they don't know what infuses are, so they're affiliate of.
So before we go further tonight, we have NTD here, and they're affiliate of Epic Times, I believe. They were here. They came to one of our rallies about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I believe it was, and they filmed the entire thing. They interviewed a lot of people, and I think they'll want to interview some of you too, I think. But anyway, so next we have the roll call.
Okay, I have a little public service announcement first. If you're a delegate and you're not getting any emails, would you please check with Sandy Wheeler over there, make sure that we've got your emails. And if you're a delegate and you did not get a call to convention, could you let us know? Because I understand a couple that's happened. Okay. There we go. All right. Catherine Anderson. Danny Bartolotta.
here.
Sharon Bauman.
Roxy.
Dawn Beatty. Here. Tamara Carr. Here. Ron Shuren.
Here.
Darlene Detzel.
Here.
Paul Driscoll.
Here.
Brian Drzwicki.
Here.
Steve Ellier.
Here.
Mark Fortin.
Here.
Cliff Frost. Danielle Gilbert. Kurt Hooper.
Here.
Chris Hurd here. Marge Condrat. Here. Lenore Kurek. Here. David Langer.
Here.
Lisa Mankiewicz. Here. Richard Pavlich. I know you're here. Richard. I saw you.
Richard's here.
Okay. Gary Race.
Here.
Donna Shurish. Tammy Schwartz. Sandy Wheeler. Here. Roy Wilson. Okay, and then we have Grant Anderson. And Barb Zinner. And Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Thank you. So now the approval of the minutes. If the board members have had a chance to look at the minutes, we'd like to entertain a motion to receive and file.
Did anybody read the minutes? Okay, Dave has made a motion.
Make a motion.
Thank you.
Is there a second? Okay, Cliff. Any discussion of the minutes?
They haven't read them.
This is kind of an automatic part of every meeting. Anyway, all in favor of receiving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Okay. Now, just before we go any further, just very briefly, how many here are new that haven't been here before? Thank you. Thank you for being here. Now, how many people here are precinct delegates? Wow, fantastic. Good. Got to remember that because I got a few things to say to you guys in a minute. But anyway, now for those of you who are new or those of you who've only been here a couple times, what we just did was received and filed the minutes from the last meeting. Okay? Now, when we vote, we're used to being, all of us, anybody to say aye or whatever, right? However, it is an official board meeting. There are board members. So if ever there was anything controversial, well, let's say some people say, no, I'm against or whatever, then we're going to have to discuss it, and only board members would be able to vote on that type of motion. Okay? But other than that, when things are so automatic, we don't divide up and do all that type of thing. But just so you know how it works. Every county has a board. The board is made up of 50% statutory people, who are all the people elected to office, and then 50% of precinct delegates from the county. But anyway, I just wanted to explain that to you briefly. So anyway, the reports, I'm on here first. Yeah, I am. Okay. Here we go. I got a fair amount. I'd like to keep my report short. However, as you know, a lot's been going on, right? So I'd like to speak about this election yesterday. What happened to the big red wave? We all heard about the big red wave, didn't we? Did you notice at your precinct more people voting than normal?
Yes.
Now, just looking at things psychologically, those of you who are fantastic psychologists like myself, when a state or a community comes out in large numbers to vote, do you think those people, since most voters are a little on the lazy side, do you think those are people who just love the way things are, or do you think they're people that want to come out and change things because they're not too happy? There was a red wave, folks.
Yes, there was.
Unfortunately, it wasn't reported, was it? Well, we're going to dig into those kind of things. If 2020 was never looked into and nothing ever fixed, why would we expect a different result? Now, one of the reasons, though, is not just fraud. One of the major reasons of our problem in Michigan is an absolutely useless state party. The leadership, thank you. The leadership of the Michigan Republican Party is absolutely useless, ineffective. They lack, I don't know what they lack. Now, I think it's mostly will, tell you the truth. But anyway, I did a video yesterday, and I called upon the resignation of Michonne Maddock and Ron Weiser for their absolute failure. Thank you. Their absolute failure. After the primary, there's many rich families in Michigan. There's a group of 50 of them headed up by the DeVos family on the west side of the state. And they spent lots of money, millions of dollars in the primary. And then after the primary, I guess they all went to Barbados. I don't know. Our state party chairman is a billionaire with a B. That's what we're told. Early on, he did give a few $1 million to the state party early on, paid off some debt, things like that. But how is it in a big state like Michigan that our candidates, especially the 3 top ones, are not funded? Where'd these 50 families go? Where did Ron Weiser go? Now, when they ran for office, we were very edgy about the whole thing. We knew who Ron Weiser was, and we had absolutely no confidence in him. But Michonne Maddock, we drank the Kool-Aid, and we thought we knew her well, and she was a grassroots person, Trump, 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 started Women for Trump, all kinds of great things. She did a lot of good stuff. But anyway, she kept saying to me and to Lisa and others, oh, Mark, see what's going on here is Ron wants to be chairman again one more time. He's older than me. I'm 75. But Ron wants to be chairman one more time. He just wants to raise the money, and I'm going to run the party. Really? I talked to Ron Weiser. He said the same thing. I'm going to raise the money. She's going to run the party. No sooner were they elected, they hired this rhino, a complete rhino. What was his name?
Jason Rowe.
Yeah, Jason Rowe, a complete rhino to be the executive director of the party. Well, wait a minute now.
He's a never Trumper rhino.
A never Trumper rhino. So, wait a minute, Michonne, aren't you going to run the party? Oh, well, he's not going to, he should have heard it. Well, stepping and fetching. Well, he's really good at certain things, and what a bunch of... Anyway, here we are, 2 years later, a very, very critical race, a race that we must win, and our party is out to lunch. In the meantime, in between time, look what they're doing in Macomb County to this very day. We got a group of people who can insist that they are the legitimate party against the rules of the 16th Circuit, against the vast majority of the state convention that really slapped them down big time for what they tried to pull, yet they still claim to be legitimate, and they've done nothing since then but look legitimate. They got somebody to pay for an office, and they've been doing things the first time, actually, the core of it is they're a group of people in Macomb County under the name of MACRA, okay? And I don't know how many delegates they're precinct delegates, they're legitimate delegates, and there's about, I think, 30 or 40 of them, but they always want control of the party, and when they get it, their meetings have 30, 40 people in it. They just go to all the wine things with the elected officials. It's nothing but a big thing for the elected officials. Well, elected officials work for us. That's the problem. Okay, we were not born and raised, bear children and everything else to provide for them, to grow up and pay taxes to make their life good. Okay, they're supposed to work for us. So that's the problem in Macomb County. We have this established crowd that they don't want to hear from people like us. See, we've been too loud. Because of your support, we got a voice. And we're out there screaming and hollering all the time, demanding that they do their job. And they don't. They simply don't. We have suffered in this state for a few years. I mean, my gosh, I don't want to sit and you guys all know it all. Look what they've done to us. In the meantime, the Republican Party, our elected officials at Lansing, none of them, nothing. No complaints, no screaming, no hollering, no nothing. They sit there and say, oh, well, she'll veto it if we do something. Who cares? Let her veto it. Who cares? Pass good legislation. Make her veto stuff for 2 years. Good stuff. But no, we've got to leave her alone because, see, if we go after her all over the country, they'll give her tons of money and we won't be able to beat her. Well, I'm sorry. They're spineless, they're weak, and they're unprincipled. They don't care about our children like we do. Absolutely.
So this was just brought to my attention 8 minutes ago. Tudor Dixon posted, this is a perfect example of what is wrong with the Michigan Republican Party. It's an issue of leadership. Ron Weiser, Michonne Maddock, and Paul Cordes all refuse to take ownership for their own failures. It's easy to come out and point fingers now, but the truth is they fought against me every step of the way and put the entire ticket at risk. We need fresh leadership in the Michigan Republican Party, or Republicans will never have a voice in Michigan again. Our state party failed on let Michigan kids learn and secure Michigan vote. Because of their failure, we now hope Prop 2. We have to do better than this current incompetent leadership. Thank you, Tudor.
Amen. I told you guys, how many were at the state convention where they overwhelmingly supported us? Okay, I told you guys about my conversation with Tudor then, didn't I? Okay, how I asked her, I told her, I said, you saw what happened here today? For 25 days after you've won your primary, that this is all they care about, is shutting up Macomb County? And I said, what did they do for you the last 25 days? And she's looking at me, this close, okay? I could have leaned forward and kissed her, we're so close. So we're this close, she's looking in my eyes, and she just goes, that was August 27th. You could see in her eyes that she knew she was set up. But I'll tell you what, you talk about a trooper, she did a good job. She went out there, and I was very impressed. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to change the state party in the state of Michigan. We're going to make it a Republican party in the state of Michigan. We're going to create a two-party system. For those of you that have an interest, we have a TV show now, Inside Track with Mark and Lisa, and you can find it on Telegram. There's been 3 segments. The 4th, hopefully, will be Monday. And we are going to expose this state party. Our Republican elected officials, we're going to clean our own house first, and we're going to make these people Republican and standing for Republican virtues, values. So anyway.
Well, maybe tell them about the rumor we heard. So we're hearing a rumor that Eric Castiglia thinks he's going to run for state party chair. I guess he missed all the booze they gave him.
Yep. It's amazing. We've heard a few names, but no teams. There's a chair and a co-chair. We've heard of no names that are teams working together, and that's what we need. But anyway, and also this election, we've received a lot of flack because for over a year, we have been saying how bad the election is and so on and so forth, right? And we've told people that we did not believe. Over a year ago, right, we started telling people that these people in Lansing have no intention of going after Whitmer. Well, we got the proof now. We saw the election. They were underfunded. They had no money, this and that. It's just incredible in this state that it could get that bad. Now, we'll lose track. I got a couple of notes here, and I'm losing track. Now, what did the establishment say about this? We've talked to a lot of people, a lot of you guys, a lot of people on the phone, and people are just decimated over this election. We all feel terrible. This Proposition 3 is so ungodly. It's unbelievable. And this type of thing, and the loss, naturally, of the governor's race and Secretary of State, people are talking about all that. But what is this illegitimate group that claim to be the Macomb County Republican Party? What do they have to say? Well, Mr. Castiglia was on Facebook. This is what he said. We will keep up the right fight. Keep our heads high and move forward. I want to thank everyone who gave so much to this election cycle. The denialists and the singular focus purists do not resonate with the American voter. We need to get back to policy and working with others. For 40 years, that is establishment Republican garbage. They go to Lansing and they cozy up to the Democrats. They work together to advance what they want with no concern of what the people want.
Here. Let me translate. You Trump people, go away. That's what he's saying. He does not believe that the election was stolen. So that's his way of saying, move on.
That's because he's a Democrat.
Yes,
Yep.
he is. And a globalist.
That's right. It's the same old stuff. So now, having said all that, the same problems yesterday that we had 4 years ago, we're all slandered and told that we're a bunch of denial people. I saw the Macomb Daily today. They always use the terms like the election deniers is proven. I forget the terminology, but you know what I mean. They always talk about debunk. That's it. The debunked accusation. They never looked into the accusations. But anyway, almost done, I promise. But anyway, I have to know from you guys some things. Next week we got a convention here. And let me tell you some of the things that have happened the last couple of weeks. All of a sudden we got a call from Michonne Maddock. And she never calls, by the way, because we're not recognized. But anyway, she called and she said, Mark, I just want to ask you about your convention. Yeah, what? Well, I was wondering if you would have a joint convention with Eric. And I have to admit, I was befuddled, and I'm sitting there, it's kind of, you know. And she says, or how about if you have a convention and we can run it for you, the state party can run it for you, to make sure it's fair. Yeah, that's Michonne Maddock, you know. So anyway, this is what I was honest to God, I was nice, I promise. But anyway, I said, well, Michonne, I'm going to tell you something. Our convention is going to be run like it always is. Okay? According to law, the convention has to be within 20 days of the election. And I said, so it will be. We're sending out a call to convention to all the delegates. Don't matter who we like and don't like. They're all legally elected. We're sending them out to everybody. And then we're going to have our convention. And I'm going to start it as the temporary chair because I am the current county chair. Right, Michonne? Right, Michonne? The court said so, Michonne. You were up on that elevated thing and saw 2,000 delegates say so. So I'm the chairman, and I'm going to start that convention, and we're going to elect a permanent chair, and then we're going to elect a new board, and then we're going to adjourn. It's really quite simple. Well, I was just trying to help. So, and if I can help in any way, call me. I forgot that part. But anyway, so a few days go by, and I get a call from another guy that never calls me since April 11th, and that's Stu Foster. He's one of the guys that does a whole lot of stuff at State Party. And he's the one that sends you out the information about upcoming conventions and the dates and blah, blah, blah. He hasn't called me since April 11th. I've tried to call him a couple times, and he called me. Well, hey, Stu, how you doing? Oh, fine. Just wondering, do you think that you would consider having a joint convention with Eric? And I told him, I said, listen, you really got to get this straight. I don't know who had you call me if you did it on your own, but you make sure they understand that the next person that brings that up, I'm hanging up on them. I will not. These people still are violating the law. They are still doing it. Why should I talk to them? I told them, I said, I will not talk to these people. I will not, on the phone, in person, I will not respond. And I haven't. I haven't answered phone calls. They complain about it. You've seen it on Facebook. Yeah, I don't talk to them. Or their minions, like, it's a name I'd like to mention, but I won't. But anyway, so anyway, I said I won't text them, I won't answer texts, I won't call on the phone, I won't meet with anybody, nothing. We are the county party. We're going to go ahead with what we're supposed to do and do our job, and that's it. So anyway, now we're having the convention next week. There's all kinds of rumors out there. You talk to these people, I heard people that talk to people, but I think just messages are going around, you know. They're saying that, oh, they're not going to come to our convention. Well, you don't have to. You know, I mean, you got the call to convention. Not every delegate shows up at a convention. I mean, they can do what they want.
We need you.
Then we heard that they're going to have their own convention. Yeah, we heard that too. But then again, they have to send out a call 30 days prior to. No one's received a call. Any delegates here received a call from Eric Castiglia? No. So I don't think they're going to do that, although they don't care about the law. They might do one anyway without the proper 30 days. I have no idea. Don't care either. But anyway, we don't know what they're going to do, but there's various things they could. Naturally, they have a right to come to the convention. They're legally elected delegates, just like you guys are. If they don't have the numbers, one tactic is to keep you busy, keep you busy, keep you busy, and make it go longer and longer and longer because they know that the average grassroots person, oh, I got to get home, the dog's been in there so long, and blah, blah, blah. And as every vote leaves, they're stronger. That's a tactic they use a lot. So you got to come next Thursday, and you got to camp out. We don't know how long we shouldn't. If we have good numbers, it'll be fine. But we have no idea what to expect. But that's a tactic. Another tactic is what they call the rump convention. They could get here, realize they're a real minority, create somewhat of a fuss, and then leave. And then they have their own little convention out in the parking lot or at a local restaurant or something and elect their board and then report to the state and claim that they are the actual party. And Ron Weiser, the goofball that he is, and Michonne, they will recognize them, and so on and so forth, which means nothing because in February they're all gone anyway, and we'll fix it. So the thing is, so they might do a rump convention. They could do that. There was another thing I had noted down that could happen, a competing convention. In other words, we hear rumors about them having their own, and they could do that too. They can have a meeting anytime they want. They are a legally registered Republican organization. I forget what the actual name is, Republicans of Macomb. Yeah, they legally registered it, so it's a legal thing, but they are illegally claiming to be the actual county party. The judge made it very clear. There can only be one, and we're it. Okay? The reason for that is, those of you that are delegates, raise your hand again. Okay? You were elected by the Republican voters in your precinct to represent them at a county convention. And it had to be the actual real county convention because it's official. You were elected to represent them there. So they're committing fraud. They've been defrauding delegates, trying to make them think they're legitimate, and wooing them over there to their convention that they had for the one, back in August. And then and now, as the months go by, they're buttering everybody up. See, we're the real one. We're doing this. We're doing that. It is cool because Macro's have never done nothing, and for once they were doing some door-to-door. So that was good. But anyway, so I'm sorry, I need water. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. But the thing is, so they would have their own, and if they had their own again, Weiser will say they're legitimate, but the law says they're not. We win in the end because we're going to get rid of them in February anyway.
Remember, Mark, we were supposed to go to the Democratic convention. That's what
Oh, Forlini told us that. Forlini told us to go to the Democrat convention.
Yeah, so anyway, this convention is extremely important. We need you there, okay? If it's all about the kids, like we've been saying all along, we got to be there, and we got to vote. Now, what we're going to do at this convention, we'll just very quickly go through it, just like here, invocation pledge, right? Oh, yes, that's right. This is important, too. The convention, your call to convention said how it starts at 7. Try to come at 6 because you got to get your credentials. We want to go call the convention to order at 7, so you got to be credentialed. So come early.
But the doors don't open till 6.
Yeah, they don't open till 6, okay? So try to come early to get credentialed. But then, so we're going to start the convention. As I said, I will start it. We're going to go through some things, temporary officers, things like that. There'll be an agenda. When you get your credentials, you'll get an agenda. And at some point, we're going to elect a permanent chair of the convention. Yeah, well. So anyway, you'll get a copy of the agenda and a copy of the rules. Both the rules and the agenda has to be voted on. So at some point there, we're going to do all that. We'll have a motion and a second for the agenda and a motion and a second for the rules. That's where controversies may pop up because there's going to be those that don't like the rules. Okay? They'll find things to perpetuate things, to argue, to try to break us up. So anyway, we get the rules passed if we have the numbers. And all these things will show us how strong we are, by the way. And so at some point, we're going to have the election of permanent chair. The permanent chair is for the convention only, not like what Castiglia pulled on April 11th. All right? It's for that day only. That chairmanship ends at adjournment. Okay? So we'll elect a permanent chair, and then there'll be an election for the new board. And what we're going to do, we have a committee putting together a slate of names. Under the circumstances, since we are in such mess here with this perpetual going on to this day, it'll be a lot easier if we have the numbers to just put 32 names out there and vote on it instead of fighting over each one. Because we need all 32. Because most of the elected officials want us gone. We might have 4 or 5 votes on that side of the aisle. So we need all the votes on our side of the aisle.
That's okay, they want Trump gone too.
Huh?
They want Trump gone too.
Oh yeah, they want Trump gone too. So anyway, so that slate, I beg you, we have a pile, we could fill that slate with 150 great people. So it's not the issue. The issue is we just have to have 32 people we know will vote with us, so on and so forth. And hopefully in the future we'll do it different. But this time I beg of you to support the slate that's presented. Okay? And don't let them break it up. They'll poke at this one. They'll poke at that one. Well, how come this one? Or what's that? My so-and-so does more. Whatever the case may be, they're going to do what they can to try to break it. But we have to resist it, keep voting that down if there's motions, and stick with that slate and get it passed. Once that's done, we won. And then after that, shortly after that, we will be at some point too, I got to verify when, we're going to fill empty slots. There are a lot of precincts that don't have a delegate. Now at this convention, we can legally fill those precincts. We're working on it right now. Sandy is working on it, and so is Teresa. Teresa, you here, Teresa Reed?
There's a team working on it. She's working. There's a team working on it.
Okay. So anyway, we are filling them up. I think we must have 15, 20 already. I'm not sure. We have a good number.
We had 15
That we can, the convention, so if no one ran in a certain precinct and there's an opening, the precinct delegates in the county have the power where they can elect a person to fill that precinct. However, that person has to live in that precinct. That's what makes it hard to find people, right? So we're working on that, and at some point we'll fill the vacancies too, which will be great. And but that's pretty much the beginning and ending of it, is what's going to happen. We have no idea what else they might be planning. We heard.
Elizabeth wants you to tell them.
Oh yeah, the rules, I think it is, takes a 2/3 vote to pass the rules. Let's say we don't have 2/3 vote. We stick and vote against any rules they have. Because if we don't have 2/3, they won't either. So it's a matter of voting it down, presenting the other one, vote again until somebody quits. Okay? And somebody will quit.
No quitters.
The question is it us or them? So,
There's three delegates in your precinct, 3 spots, but there's only 1 delegate. Can you get 2 more?
Yes.
yes, if a precinct, a lot of people are multi-delegate precincts, right? So if you have 3 slots and only 2 people, well, we can elect another one, but they have to live in that
There's
precinct.
quite a few precincts that have no representation.
Yeah.
Not one delegate. It's actually pretty
That's true.
sad. Not even one person to represent certain delegates.
Now,
Or-
the other possibility, quick, just a second, Debbie, because I'll forget. The last possibility is, we heard, which I think is absolutely insane, is the state party actually come in here and take over the convention.
We're taking out.
Absolutely illegal, and I like to see them grab the microphone from me. It's absolutely illegal. Absolutely illegal. But they have done a lot of weird stuff in a lot of counties. They really have. When they pulled that April 11th thing, Lisa and I was at the convention as guests at the end of April, and I complained to Michonne Maddock, and she simply said, "We've done that before." Walked away.
Oh, she was very proud of it too.
Yeah, she's proud of it. Well, she can be proud of it in March when she don't have the job. But anyway,
Well, she
these are the
could-
kind
she
of things
could
that
be
can
Eric's
happen.
running partner.
Pardon me?
She could be the one running with Eric.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
I think that'd be fun. But anyway, these are the types of things that can happen. It can get noisy. It can get whatever. But always keep in front of you the dearest child in your family and know that you're sitting there for them, because these people could care less about them. What I just read you from Eric is, you think he cares about the kids? No comments about this devastating election and the loss of Proposal 3. They don't care. All that matters to them is they got their establishment people in there, and they can just go plug into the lobbyists. And now we're a minority. We're in worse shape than we were before. So, but for them, that's good. If you're a rhino or an establishment Republican, there's nothing better than being a minority. You can sit there and your constituents call you and say, well, you got to elect more Republicans because we're the minority and the speaker runs everything and da-da-da, bunch of goofs. Okay? I got that from Paul Mitchell one day when we lost the second midterms and we lost the House, and people said, when are you going to do this? And he says, well, we got to wait 2 years because we're the minority now. Oh, so you're going to sit there and collect checks for 2 years and not even say anything. I mean, they've been playing us for decades, folks. And now we're waking up and realizing that we don't live our lives, that they tax us to death. They decide how we're going to live our life. They decide we're going to pay for stupid empty buses. They decide all this stuff. And we got to start deciding what to do with them. Thank you. Oh yeah, I'll announce that. We don't have anyone to announce it? Okay, just a minute. So anyway, I think that's about all I had to say about next week's convention. And when we're done, if there's time, we'll do the question thing too. I thought I had one other thing though. Oh, one thing I wanted to say too. Announce the vacant seats can be filled in the 17th. Yeah. Well, we did.
They
Okay.
wanted it announced.
Hmm?
They wanted it announced.
But on the 17th, we can fill vacancies. Yep, that's right. So the people that we find, we need them to be here, and we can vote them in.
Yeah, we all can take part in that, though, to be honest, if she's talking to the people that we know.
I'm sorry, Debbie, what you...
Do they need to sign something?
My number could be available to send anyone, to be honest.
As long as there's an open spot.
Yeah.
Mark.
As long as there's an open spot. Okay, so now, one other thing, too, about this election. We have Tudor. She conceded.
Yeah. DePerno.
And, you know, she conceded, and DePerno conceded, and that was really disgusting to me. Mr. DePerno got there going after voter fraud. That's how he won at the convention and became the nominee. He was the champion going after the voter fraud that we all know existed in 2020. Okay, we all agree that there was voter fraud in 2020? Yes. I mean, your elected officials say no. Why is it? All of them, Republicans, Democrats in Michigan, all say no. They're united because they're globalists. They're all under Ron Weiser, who is a globalist. He's part of the Atlantic Council, all this stuff. Globalism don't go with republicanism. No, it don't. It's got to be the glue that holds these bricks together because they are united in making sure these elections are never looked at. Why is that? So anyway, about DePerno. So he got there being a champion going after corrupt elections. And what does he do right after he loses a corrupt election? I'd like to ask him, what about this corruption? You just lost your tush. How do you think you lost it? I don't understand that. But Christina Caramo, a citizen like you and me, okay? Christina Caramo is like you and me. Christina Caramo was at the TCF Center all day long in 2020, just like Lisa was. And here she's an educator. She never planned on running for public office. She saw what happened, and she said, my goodness, somebody's got to do something about this. Okay? Like Michelle. Right there. Somebody's got to do something about these schools. And that's what's going to change our state, is you and me. You people got to decide. There's people here that could run for something. Believe me, don't think you can't do it. Because we talked to a lot of these people the last 2 years, and believe me, there's nobody out there that can't do it. Honest. So, Christina is a hero. She has not conceded. She will not concede. And from what I understand, she's going to fight this thing because she knows what it's about. And Christina knew from day one that they didn't want her. She knew they wouldn't support her. But she went out there like a champion every dang day all across this state and fought and fought and fought. You guys heard her. She's the real deal. And she's a real champion. So now we got to decide. We got to decide. Are we Christina or are we DePerno? Are we going to concede? Or are we going to stand up with her and fight for our future and our kids? So I got a couple quick announcements, but I also need a little bit of advice. What if, I don't think it's going to happen, but what if things don't turn out well next week? We have an office. The office is not county party office property. The lease says on the office, the Macomb GOP Community Center. It's been that way for a year and a half. Okay? Do we keep that office? Because the lease is coming up. No matter what happens next Thursday, do we keep raising funds and keep that office as a grassroots organization to keep pushing these legislators? Because soon the landlord's going to be talking to me and saying, hey, what do you want to do?
Hey, Mark, I suggest that almost immediately we turn around and collect dues. We haven't collected dues and kept up with the dues at all. But I think we all ought to be chipping in at least our dues to start, and anything more that anybody else can do. And it needs to happen.
Well, that's a good idea. We can do something right now, though, because we have, many of you have seen that we said keep December 8th free. Have you noticed that in our newsletters? We have a great fundraiser that should be fun. We have not had a Lincoln Day dinner because of all the COVID crap and everything. We've never raised much money because ever since April, we were locked down financially until August 5th. So the thing is, he's right. We do have to start raising money if we're going to keep that office, which everybody that I talk to says we must do. We have to have a place to meet. We have to have a place to move forward and so on. And whether we win or not. But the thing is this, we have this great event. It's a Christmas event. It should be a lot of fun. It's up the street at the Palazzo, and somebody has made it possible for us to use it. And it's going to be music and dancing. Bob Dutko is going to be there. Yep, he's going to be there. And he is very much into it. He had an opportunity to go to something big, and he turned it down to come to us. So that's really great. We're going to have another speaker, too.
And Garrett
but we're
Ziegler.
not sure. Huh?
Garrett Ziegler.
That's right. Go ahead.
Garrett Ziegler. You guys know who he is? He's the Marco Polo guy that did the report on the laptop from hell. And he's going to come in. He's going to come and tell us all about it.
Yep. So he's going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be beautifully decorated and so on and so forth.
Here,
and we want to
hold on.
go ahead.
Family style dinner. There'll be a VIP level if you want to be there earlier and have the drinks and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, a cash bar. But a beautiful Italian family style dinner at a gorgeous hall. I don't know how many you've maybe not been to Palazzo, but their Christmas decorations are amazing. It's going to be beautiful. We have the whole building. The whole building. December 8th.
We need 250. We need 250. Yeah.
Yep. So, absolutely. So the tickets, we can start selling tickets today, and the tickets are $80 a ticket and $100 for a VIP for the week, for this next week. We got to get them sold. We got 4 weeks, and it's going to be a wonderful event. It'll be a real fun thing, something to dress up for, whatever, and it's going to be really great. And if we can start selling tickets today, that'd be a great thing. It really, really would. Because we have to, we're committed to sell 250, I believe. However, this is an opportunity to really jumpstart us into the new year. Our problems will be behind us with these local screwballs claiming to be something they're not. And we are going to build this party the next 2 years. We're going to really have funds for school board 2 years from now in our candidates and everything else. But we need your help. We're going to win this thing. We got to ask ourselves again, are we Caramos or DePernos? That's the thing, and I'm not prepared, even though I'm a guy, we're not prepared to concede, not at all, because our kids' future. Okay, so now, on the 13th, on Sunday, this is free here. On the 13th is a delegates training with J.D. Glasser. Yeah. Okay, and I have been. I think we got one coming. So anyway, now I went to, Sandy and I went to Ann Arbor to see his presentation for delegates. He's going to tell us how important a delegate is, so on and so forth. Be a lot of great information. It's really great. It's free. It's here. I'm sure we'll pass the hat because we got to pay for the hall like we do for our meetings. By the way, we're going to pass the pitcher. Thank you very much. Pass the pitcher. And to help pay the expenses of the meeting. But anyway, we'll do that, but there's no ticket price, nothing like that. Please come. He does a great job. It'd be very educational. Most delegates don't realize how important their position is in American government.
Debbie wants it. 69. Did all delegates receive an invitation and notice about the thing on Monday?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And my second question is going back to talking, no, they did not.
What?
Only ours.
What?
I'll talk to you.
The call to convention you're talking about for Thursday?
No. To the Monday, to the training, the delegate.
Oh.
I'll talk to you about it later.
Yeah, that went out to our whole email list.
Okay, so somebody could bring it up at convention to put a
To
different
change them.
set of, right.
Yeah, a different set. Or,
How are you guys gonna train the delegates to make sure they know who to listen to? Because things may be, some, other people are gonna be.
yeah, Debbie's asking if we're going to have like a training meeting or something. The time is short. It's so short in so many meetings. The simple fact is, there's a lot of you here. The simple fact is, we got to pass the rules the way they are. There'll be people maybe making motions to amend. We got to vote them down, and so on and so forth. We need 2/3 for the rules, so we may have to go back and forth till we get it. But after the rules are passed, everything's simple majority after that. But we have to stick with our list, stick with our rules, and get it done. Okay? So anyway.
Hey, Mark. Point of order. Hey, Mark.
Yep. Who?
For anybody with the delegate here, I was in Ann Arbor with Mark and Shandy. You need to go to this meeting on Monday if you want to have it.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday, I'm sorry, Sunday, and it'll probably be fine. But if you want any chance of really understanding what you need to do as a delegate, please go to that seminar on Sunday at 6 o'clock, because you're going to get educated on how to be a delegate and what you need to do during convention, whether it's a county convention or whether it's a state convention. Please, for the state or for the county foothold, please go to this seminar on Sunday.
It is
Thank you,
very
dear.
good.
That's true, because they tell you all about the motions and things like that. There's a lot of detail
They
to
teach
it.
you how to fight back and give you the rules to do it.
Yep.
Is it
Yep.
here?
Yes. Yes.
Yep, it's here.
Mark, you talked about being able to fill the vacant delegate spot. Send it that way. Convention, correct? Can I just, is that gonna have to be before we do the voting?
I have to go over the Roberts rules that they gave us and see when we insert that. So I'm not totally positive yet. Okay? So anyway, we'll have more questions in a few minutes, but we should finish the meeting, right?
Correct.
So, and more announcements and whatever. I think I did everything I needed to do. Get the agenda back out. Where'd my agenda go?
Have notes on it? You want mine?
Oh, I got it. I found it. On the bottom. Okay, Vice Chair report. Anything to say?
The only thing I have to say is we had to lose this time because if we had the red wave and they let it get through, 2020 they would have said, well, you lost, we won, now we won, you lost. And they would have buried it, and then they just would have continued to steal our elections. This had to happen. It's painful and it sucks, but it has to happen. If we don't fix 2020, it's just a matter of time till they continue raking us over the coals and stealing our country. So that's really all I have to say, but God bless you all for being here. We didn't know if people were going to be defeated and the meeting would be small or if it would be awesome because Patriots never quit. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
We have great leaders.
Thank you. Anyway,
Couldn't do it without all of you.
Treasurer's report.
Yes, we do. We all have each other.
Okay, treasurer's report. This is the fun part of the meeting.
And God, oh yeah, absolutely the man.
Real fast.
Okay, I'm going to try to keep this one short again. I did
Yeah.
that last month, so I'm not going to read all the things. So basically, we've got two accounts, as I said, the administrative account and the campaign account. A campaign account we can use for, helping candidates in their campaigns, and also the conventions that we have in this year have to come out of the campaign account. The administrative account is basically for party building, and our next convention will be paid for out of that account. But this upcoming convention is out of the campaign account. So I'm going to read what we've got here. Okay, administrative account. balance was $3,242.82. The additions in October to the administrative account was $103. Subtractions were $84.04. So the ending balance in the administrative account is $3,261.78. The campaign account, the beginning balance on October 1st was $4,308.06. Additions in October, with all our fundraisers in that, were $4,785. Subtractions were $8,431.33, which includes donations to various campaigns and stuff. So the ending balance in the campaign account on October 31st was $661.73. Okay. And as I said, now we do have a little bit more in that account right now because we've had some donations since October 31st. But as I said, this upcoming convention that we're having next week, it's got to come out of that account. So, is there any questions concerning that? Can I submit the treasurer's report?
Motion to receive.
Second.
Okay, we're done. Next.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All opposed?
Kurt Hooper.
Motion carries. Thank you. Hey, Kurt, how are you, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so anyway, unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business from the last meeting? I don't think so. Okay, new business. I don't know if there's any new business other than those of you who want to get involved in the Christmas thing. Now, we can adjourn this part and just move on to elected officials and then announcements.
I make a motion to adjourn.
This is just adjourning the
The
business
part.
meeting
The
part of it.
business part.
Who second?
All in favor? Opposed?
We're not
Okay.
done just with that part.
It's just less formal now. Now you can yell and scream at me and throw tomatoes, okay? So anyway. I forgot them.
Follow the thing and you'll see what.
Maybe Martin's got some in the kitchen. We can ask. But anyway, so we have elected officials, right? And we happen to have with us Representative Terry McCoskey.
We only had 50 carries.
Hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Terrence Bukowski. I'm your 36th District State Representative, which includes Shelby Township, Washington, Romeo, the whole area here. Not much has happened since, since summer. We were in office today and just got back with Dawn, Danny, and Lois, our staff, which are just knocking out of
I'll ask her.
up there helping us out. We signed a couple of bills that's going to firm up our schools, the infrastructure, but unfortunately, everything's kind of locked down now with the voting that occurred over the weekend. So I don't foresee anything coming until after January, and I shouldn't say I don't foresee it. They said it. There's nothing coming until after January.
Lame
They're
ducks.
going to be just holding tight. So yeah, part of politics. I'm hearing though that Macomb County is making quite a stir.
Let's hear it for the pain in the butt.
And all you good patriots are people are hearing your voices, and was even mentioned to me that not only on the local, state, but the federal side are looking real hard at Macomb County.
I'll take it.
Let's not make this a we need to stick together here as a family and grow and grow and grow. We're here for our kids and our grandkids. There's a lot of things that are going on. These proposals that pass. If we don't get legislators in there to change these rules and not have to change the Constitution, it's going to be an uphill battle. And I'm not raising my kids and my grandkids in a state that's going to be known for kids and every other thing that's possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to fight that. We're going to stay true to the cause. This is what we're here for. God, family, and country. We're here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for January, but we also have big plans after that. We ain't going nowhere. The best is yet to come. If you need anything at all, see Don, Danny, me. Call me, whatever you need. But we're there for you. And we got to take this our politics back from the politicians. We need service in there. That's what we need. So God bless each and every one of you guys. I'll be here if you guys need anything. Just yell.
Thank you, Terry. She didn't fill out a sheet, but Barb Zinner's here. Did you want to say a few words, Barb? I think I saw. Oh, there you are. This is the last warning. Fill out a sheet next time. By the way, congratulations on your victory.
I thought I was supposed to come up under elected officials.
You are.
You are.
That's why.
Look at, hey, look at
There's
here.
only 2 of you.
I'm in there.
The rest of them avoid us.
Oh, and John Vermeulen's here too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, who
we got
cares?
3 out of all of them. 3.
You guys tell me when my time starts. I think it starts right now. Okay, hello everybody. Thank you so much for all of your help. There's a lot of people here today. It's bigger than normal. Normal's big. I'm County Commissioner Barb Zinner. I have Harrison Township and most of St. Clair Shores. I've been in there for almost 2 years now. Trump pulled me in. This time, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I ended up winning again. When I went in 20, there were 8 of us going into a board of 13. So I think a lot of that had to do with Eric Smith, and he's getting brushed away. But he's in jail, which is good. But I think the citizens wanted a change, and they made a change. 8 new people out of 13. And the board really is a great board. That's Dems and Republicans. And on the major issues, as I said before, I'm not going to say we voted together because we all have our own minds, but we voted for the citizens as a group on the major decisions, which I'm glad for. Because if we hadn't made some of those decisions, I wouldn't have run again because I would have thought why. But there was a reason to run again, not just for the citizens, but if you can't make any headway. But we did make headway for the citizens, and I'm very proud of that board. A couple people have left. They felt they were with the change in districts that they would not be able to run in their party that way. So we have 2 new people coming in. The rest of us have stayed, and we had people put against us in the primaries and, of course, the generals. But we made it through. I'm happy to, now I understand things more. I saw in the first 3 months, I figured some of that out right away. But after that, there's a lot to learn, and I've learned a lot. I know there's a lot more to learn. We're in the budget season. We've been in the budget season, and now we're getting down to the crunch part, where decisions have to be made. So we will see what happens with that. I encourage citizens to come to the board meetings. Many of you have been there, and if you want to speak, that's the place to speak, at any board meeting of government. That is our right. And it makes a difference. The higher leadership, it does affect them. Not when you're crazy, but when you speak factually and clearly, it's great. And it's great to see everybody here. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I brought this up. Thank you, Ken, Ellen, Marlene, Tom, and everybody else who's been so helpful and so supportive. Thank you all so much. I couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you, Barb. Diane Saber was our candidate in Roseville for State House. She would like to speak about the election for a couple minutes.
blatant flip in Roseville, in District 12. The count stopped for 7 hours. As of 7:30 in the morning Wednesday, she somehow had 17,000 votes. They flipped the entire election. I will not concede. I will wait for the audit and because this is not going to happen. I have a whole district that's counting on me to be their voice, and that's what I'm going to be. That's why I signed up for this. It's not going to happen. We didn't fix 2020. We knew they were going to steal it, but they literally were blatant. They don't even try to hide it. So every single candidate should be demanding a recount. Do not concede. Audit. Get a forensic audit. My opposition never saw her out there, never saw a piece of lit, never saw a t-shirt, never saw a sign. And you're going to tell me she pulled 17,000 votes? No way. Not happening on my watch. I want to thank my team of ladies, Sandy, Jerry, Angel. These ladies worked their butts off. We got out 10,000 pieces of lit going door to door. I want to thank everybody that for the past couple weeks went and lit dropped in Roseville for me. I want to thank my entire rally family, Lady Liberty, Dr. Lupo for sponsoring the rally in Roseville. Thank you. Okay, now's the time to unite. Now's the time to mobilize. As Christians, we are to occupy. Occupy and mobilize. We have to. We need boots on the ground. For these recounts, we're going to have to canvass. People are going to need help. So please be there for the help. But yes, we're not done. I'm still in the running.
Mark, let me say something real quick. So Diane said it was blatant. I listened to Pete Santilli's show on Frank's speech this morning, and he said they were so blatant, they didn't even change the URLs they used to steal the election. They used the same ones from 2020. That's how blatant they were and how in our face, and they dare us to do something about it.
Yep.
Challenge accepted.
Yep. Amen. Amen. And something else, too, about recounts and things. In 2020, we had a gentleman, James Perna, who, by the way, just won this time. And I wish we could say we helped him, but he did it all on his own. God bless him. So we gained another seat on county commission. But anyway, 2 years ago, he did a recount, okay? Because it was only 200 votes off. We all know that there was fraud, and he thought he'd get a recount in the hopes of finding issues. We learned that you pay money for a recount, but they don't even look for issues. They just look at the tapes, they add, they see if it balances, and that's it. They don't look to see if the votes are any good. They don't even look at all. I mean, our laws in this state are so screwed up, it's unbelievable. As you know, in Detroit, they got the box. If the numbers don't match, they seal it, and you can't look. No, there should be an audit of the box. Why don't it match? But that's the way this corrupt uniparty has developed our elections over time in this state, and we got to change them. But anyway, God bless Mr. Perna. He won this time. It's really great. See, who's next?
John Vermeulen's here. Did you want to speak, John?
Oh, yeah. $30 seconds. 30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. We'll make it quick. My name is John Vermeulen. I'm a Shelby Township trustee. A couple of things have come up recently on the board. One of them was the flock safety technology. They wanted the... Hello?
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
Flock safety.
Flock safety technology. What they want is 30 cameras, and they got it. The board approved it. I was the only lone dissenter. Pam will tell you, and so will Darlene, that I was the only one to oppose it. What business do they have recording every license plate that goes by in every car? Now, I can understand it from the police point of view that They get leads out of it. It's a good thing from that perspective. But, you know, when we have a president who comes out and says, the MAGA Republicans are the ones you have to watch out for, you have to say, what is coming up on this road next?
Right, big brother.
And then, if you have to look at it from another perspective, it's $89,000 to install 30 cameras and $79,000 for subscription costs.
Wow.
Okay?
What a racket.
So it's a cost issue. I talked to even one of my liberal neighbors who was a judge. He told me, he said, John, he says, in this community, he says, what I advise you to do, our kids went to school together, is he said, try to strike it on the budget grounds. Me, I left it on the whole thing that, what are they doing this for? Why does everything need to be recorded? You know, because I'm looking at it, and it's like I said in the budget session, the work session, I told them, I said, you know, you claim you're an ethical company, but as an MBA holder, I know firsthand, and a former business analyst, that business is always looking for new products and new services to sell. When you look at that, what's it going to be? Is the federal government going to say, hey, we want you to share this? How much further does it go beyond this? We heard this with the seatbelt laws. Now they're on it. But it's for our own good, which is the worst type of tyranny that's out there. Right? Okay. The other thing is I want you to know that I just learned that Stanley Grott is coming off of our planning commission. He was, and this is going to be on the consent agenda. Stanley was put on the planning commission immediately after Michael Flynn lost. It's a transition. What did Stanley Grott do? He ended up using his position on the planning commission to secure donations for not only himself and his campaign, but his wife's campaign. We know what her qualifications are. I'm sure there's many of you who are. I've heard it at North Macomb Gun Club, who know some of these people firsthand. And the thing is, we're being deceived again. And I hope somebody's out there. And I know these ladies, Pam Ulrich will be there. I know Darlene Gotzel will be there. But they need help too, because they can't always be the only ones raising the issues. I think it's important. And I think if you live in Shelby Township, don't hesitate to come and speak out. Because the more people that come out and say something, people are going to say, hey, this is wrong. What are we doing here? These ladies are very courageous and good. Pam Ulrich and Darlene Gotzel. They can't be thanked enough.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John. Hey, question, how can we surveil every license plate but not our elections? Is it just me?
Terry wants to talk again. Terry wants to talk again.
Okay, we'll give it to you.
They'll record the tables at a casino.
Just trying to show the communists on how to do it right.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, what's up next?
Terry wants to make an announcement.
One more quick announcement to make, and which wasn't part of my report from Lansing. But I just wanted to let you folks, or have you folks think about what happened this last year, these shutdowns that we went through. The tyranny in the last year and a half, 2 years that we went through was our kids with the masks, with the shots in our arms, and people losing jobs, and the military folks, and our medical people. And in this whole country, I don't think there's anywhere worse than here in Michigan, right?
Exactly.
And we still didn't have a red wave, right?
Yeah.
What do we blame that on?
State
I would say
party.
the Michigan GOP,
State
right?
party.
The Michigan GOP did nothing to help the candidates. In my opinion. I'm sorry. I didn't even see a commercial for Tudor like 2 days before the election. Well, anybody who knows politics, if you don't get 60-70% of the mail-in votes, if you don't get them, you don't win. So they threw some money at us to make it look good. To me, it was almost like a setup, like they were backing her to lose. So we need true patriotic leadership. And once again, I'm gonna call out Mark Fortin in Lisa Mankiewicz to run for the chair for the Michigan GOP. And I asked them there's nobody better. That's right, sit up because they deserve it. There is nobody better. When you have folks like this who put it all in the line, who travel, it's in a paid position right now. They're traveling all around the state. Money's coming out of their pockets, staying wherever, and networking with folks all over the state. And I mean, like I say, my hat is off to you to the whole board. But you guys are kicking butt, and you were born for this time, both of you. You got to pick up your Christian shields, your swords.
That's right.
We're behind you. We're your army. Go get them, generals.
They're both speechless. Waiting.
McCoskey's not speaking here anymore. God bless you, Terry. There's been people that have brought it up to us, and we have been going around talking to delegates because delegates, we got to keep them together. Over 2,000 voted against these individuals. I'm trying to be nice. And we got to keep these delegates together to remove them. We've been hoping to see someone really good stand up. It has to be a team. It has to be two people that will work together to make it happen and change the party. There's a couple people out there now. One is really pretty good, but he has no one he's running with. Another one is talking a lot about all the things he wants to do, but he has no one to run with. Not in love with some of the things he wants to do either. The things we need done is to change the party back to Republican again. So we're in hopes that somebody steps up. We're looking and we're thinking, we're not ruling anything out.
Yes.
But but I don't know. We'll have to see where the Lord leads. Right now, we have to keep Macomb County. We have to maintain this center, this third largest county, and the only Republican county. We have to keep it, and we have to keep it moving forward and not get lost to a bunch of people who aren't going to do nothing. So we have to protect that first before we can decide things like that. I don't know. We just keep praying and hoping, and thank you all. You guys are really great. It's fantastic, but I don't know what else to say, but thank you. But anyway, Dr. Fadwa Gallanders, I hope I say it right. Forgive me.
Here she comes.
Yes.
Hey, good evening. I'm Dr. Fadwa Gallanders, CEO of Apple Cross Wellness, but I'm also the co-leader, Faith Pillar Chair of FEC, Faith Academics and Faith Education and Commerce. We're a very big organization, started out in Michigan. Lisa Kilgus, she's here. She's our Michigan Chair of FEC. And Evan Denise is my co-faith leader of FEC. So we would love you guys to meet with us, get to know FEC. It's a very unique organization. We believe that our nation will be saved by those three pillars: faith, education, and commerce, sound commerce. And so meet up with us afterwards. We'd love to get to know you, sign you up with us. We do Alicia puts a lot of events and talks together, and we have a lot of exciting things coming up in the upcoming new year. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it's a great organization, and it's another reason we should keep this office, because on occasion they use our office for a meeting. And so does Moms for Liberty on occasion. Different groups have used our office, and we don't charge nothing. It's a place where we can come together, people of like mind, learn more about each other, become friends. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we got to win, and that's all there is to it. And that's a great organization. We've talked to Alicia a lot, and who's that over there next to you? I know.
Oh, Angela.
How you doing, dear? So anyway. it's a great group, so stop and talk with them, okay? And we're doing pretty good today. You'll have time. It's 5 to 8.
Wow.
Not bad. All that,
And he talked for like a half an hour.
I know, all that talking I did, and we're okay. Okay, so who's next?
Who's Joe Hayes? He wants to talk about that. I don't know. Who is Joe Hayes?
He's cool.
And
Joseph Hayes?
Joe Hayes.
He's on executive board tonight. He's cool.
And then you got Ken's too.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got Ken's too.
Oh, yes, we don't have any candidates. That's why we're flying through.
Ken Nelson wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yep.
filled it out. It's
Mhm.
To parent
Oh.
Mark and Mr. Mikowski, we need new leadership in our state Republican Party. And I'm requesting that tonight we bring forth the possibility of convincing somebody with a team to run against Ron Weisner for the state party chair election. Also to discuss, pass or fail, a Macomb County endorsement right here of that person. Now, I don't know how this is going to work because I'm not an executive member. I'm no longer a delegate. Stan's team got a hold of Joseph Argona, and his name alone knocked me and my wife out of the running. So, I'd also like to propose to write a letter to all the Michigan precinct district chairs and all the Macomb County, the Michigan Republican Party chairs to get together, like you were saying, unify as a team to pick somebody. And I don't know how this is going to go over, but I already got somebody I like. So it may get a big heavy sigh or a standing no, but if everybody knows, down at Brandenburg right now is fighting tooth and nail. Fighting tooth and nail. And she's got lawyers. She also has a team now. I know I see some smirks out there, but Mark is the rock right here right now, and we want him to win and stay here because I think he knows that he's not done here just yet because we got plans for you later. We hope. We really, really do. But anyways, I'd like to submit this. I don't know how this is going to work. There it is, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let's go over this just a little bit. Give my opinion, if I may.
Sure, do that.
First of all, for an official act of the county party, something has to be brought up by one of the executive board members. So you have to get an executive board member to bring up your motion, after which it be seconded and discussed. Now, if I may give my opinion, a lot of us have a lot of respect for Donna Brandenburg. She's become a friend of ours. We haven't seen her in some time now. But we have to remember something. That's one of the things they're using to come against us. They claim that we have endorsed Donna Brandenburg, a third-party candidate, against the Republican Tudor Dixon. We are the Republican Party of Macomb County. We have to act like it. State party bylaws, that's one thing. That's why they're trying to pin us with this, even though we've never done it. We never endorsed a governor candidate. We have never endorsed a governor candidate. Lisa and I have endorsed a few individuals, our own personal endorsements, just like you guys can.
But not for governor.
But not for governor. The county party itself, the board, has voted, and they endorsed DePerno and Caramo. So the Macomb County Republican Party officially endorsed some time ago DePerno and Caramo, which is legitimate. Had a right to do it. In fact, it was only one dissenting vote, and that was it. So those are the only endorsements that we made. But according to state party bylaws, if they can prove you did it, that's something they can really get rid of you on. That's why they're trying to do it, because they do know that she did become a good friend. She still is a good friend. So I don't think we should do this, because it'll play into the hands of those who say that that's what we have done.
Well, she left the party, so we can't really have
Yeah,
her leave.
so, and she understands that, believe me, she knows.
Let's get somebody on the ticket who lost.
Huh?
Let's get someone on our ticket.
Well, what, you can do that, but right. You can do that, but you gotta get a board member to introduce it.
Right, and she's not.
Okay?
So, yeah.
Okay, which should not be difficult, but you gotta get a board member to introduce it. But my advice would be that we don't do anything right now with Donna. It'll play. They'd love it. They would love to hear this on television. Oh, see what they were trying to do. Oh, blah, blah. You could just hear it on Facebook, especially, whatever. I don't want to use his name. So anyway.
Keep going.
Oh, I'm sorry. So anyway, Ken Nelson.
45 seconds. No. Elizabeth, where are you?
Elizabeth left.
Huh?
She left.
She left. Well then, I guess I'm going to have to hit escape over here. I have a Pat Colbeck moment. Martin, are you here? Martin? Oh, there it is. If you could please hit the unofficial detailed election results, please. I'm going to bring up and hit results. Okay, and let's look at first. Let's look at the governor, lieutenant governor. I went home like everybody else. I worked precinct 28 in Sterling Heights. I felt very good. I saw all these people. Our parking lot was always closed. You know, I mean, as far as it was max capacity, and I felt really good going home. Okay, then all of a sudden I felt good in Sterling Heights because they put up on the TV. They put election day. All of our votes. If you could hit race details. All of our votes are split into two sections. One is election day, and one is AV, absent voter. Could you take this all the way down? These are all the various communities and their vote counts. But I want to show you, right down at the bottom, is Macomb County. Are you... Okay, last line here. Last line. Okay, this says everybody that ran for governor and what they had. But I want to just pay attention to 3 lines here, 3 columns. Pardon? No, the very bottom. Hey, Fred, will you stay up there and point things out, please? Okay, it's election day. It's AV. Okay, right? That's Washington. I'm just interested in this bottom line, showing what happened in Macomb County. Okay, let's look at Tudor-Dixon. On election day, Tudor-Dixon had 121,849 votes. We go over to Gretchen Whitmer. Gretchen Whitmer had 99,119. So if you go home on election day, before they count the AV, Tudor won. Tudor won. Okay? Now, if you look at the AV, absent voter, we have, for Tudor-Dixon, we had 57,410 votes. For Gretchen Whitmer, we had 100,158. What is wrong with that picture? All that's reported is these totals. Tudor-Dixon, 179,000 to 199,277. Whitmer wins because they include both of them. Okay, could you, Danielle, could you go back? I need to get back to that original screen. Oh, one more time. Okay, could you bring up Attorney General? Yeah. Here's details. All the way down to the bottom. Okay, bottom column again. We have Matt DePerno. We have Dana Nessel. Matt DePerno on election day. 121,024 votes. We go over to Dana Nessel, 91,985. Who won on election day? 121 through 97. Who won on election day? Matt Caperno. And
That's right.
That is what looks so fishy. Now let's go over to the AV. 57,000. Do you remember seeing that under tutors? On AV, 57,000. She got 97,732 for Dana Nessel. Look at the totals. What was reported is 178 votes for Matt DePerno and 189,000 for Dana Nessel. Who won? No, Dana Nessel did not win. Okay. Can we go back to the Danielle? Okay.
Good question.
Because they didn't look close enough. And let me tell you, the reporting for Macomb County, as much as I don't like to admit it, is very good. They split out to the public, they split out the AB and election day. The other counties, I went down through all of them. Terrible reporting. All you get is the total number. If we could go all the way down to the top three. Race details. All the way down. Again, this is just Macomb County. Okay. Yes vote for proposal 3, no vote. If you look at, again, the bottom line, on election day, the yes vote received 105,000. The yes vote on election day, whoops. Yeah, no is over here. Okay, and 112,000. On election day, did that pass? No, it didn't. Look at the AVs. AVs. Yes votes, 100,000. No votes, 55,000. Does that number sound familiar? 55,000 and 100? Okay, there's something wrong here. Okay, and also the flipping of our legislature and our Senate. There's something wrong there. Can we go back again, Danielle? I don't want to bring up, I hate to bring it up, but I want to look up District State Rep 58. Okay, so I just do that because I'm familiar with Dick Shannon and Michelle.
We always look in the same percentage.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, all the way down to the bottom? Oh, it is. Okay, if you see redistricting, what did that do to us? You used to have all Sterling Heights under Nate Shannon, just about. I think he might have had some of Utica. Okay, but we turn around, Nate Shannon, the Democrat, Michelle Smith, the Republican. We look at on election day, 9,082 votes for Shannon, 11,949 for Michelle. Who won?
Mm-hmm.
Michelle. Then we woke up the next morning. Now they've counted Nate Shannon, 9,040 votes. 5,000 for Michelle. Look at the totals. 18,000, 17,000. Who won?
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Now I don't know. I'm going to be trying to get over with Tony Ferlini.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. He used to be a friend.
Yeah, he used to be my friend too.
But anyway, I just wanted to bring this to people's attention. This is, we talk about fraud, and like I said, this is a Pat Colbeck moment. in order for that to happen like that, same thing happened to me last year. I ran for mayor of Sterling Heights. We had 6 of our people running for city council. Same thing happened.
Yep.
Exact thing. We went to bed going, at least 3 of the council people and myself won the election. Woke up the next morning, we all lost the election, and all of the existing people got back in.
Yeah, like they did to
So
Trump.
it's in the system. It's not, I'm nonpartisan, okay? So it's not about me, it's in the system.
It's about control.
It's all about control. And you can go to Macomb County election results. You can pull all these things up and look for yourself. Diane, I don't know if you've gone through this, but we got to do something, folks. We got to do something.
Yep, amen.
New leadership.
I understand that. There's a leader right here.
That's right.
I want to sit down and talk with you too. Okay.
Thank you, Ken.
That's it. You did all that in 44 seconds.
By the way, there's an election results sheet floating around here for governor and lieutenant governor. If somebody accidentally picked it up, I would appreciate getting it back.
What?
No question.
Any other,
Yeah, Fred.
No, and I know, Prop 2 is the same thing.
when did he fill it out?
You get the same numbers, everything. Prop 2 did do that. They're going to put that in the Constitution. It's not right.
He lost one of his documents.
How are we going to defeat another battle?
Fred's the
Well, when
last
we
one?
prove fraud, is that we'll remove
Fred's the last one?
What? Pardon me?
Question. I hear over and over on different podcasts that the U.S. military generals are on this.
Yes.
And they're going to bring a case, and it's all going to be taken care of because it's the machines made in China. Is there any chance?
I don't care. I care about Macomb County.
Well, is there any chance?
He couldn't possibly know. No one knows for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows for sure. So anyway, we have one more announcement, Fred.
I'd like to get this one.
2 or 3 minutes.
Wait, just a couple sentences here. On top of what Ken said, did you see Democrats campaigning? No. Did you see them at the election precinct? No. We had the turnout. They had the ballots. We're chasing votes. They're chasing ballots. Read Prop 2. It's legal to chase ballots now. If we're still chasing votes 2 years from now, we're going to hear the same story and it's going to be worse.
Yep, it's true. So anyway, that's all our speakers and announcements. Any questions? Anybody?
Since Prop 2, do we have any chance at all of ever winning again after Prop 2? With no ID, anybody can walk in anytime, anywhere, and cast a vote. So I'm going to start at 7 a.m. I'm going to go to every precinct I can until 8 o'clock, and I'm going to be Jane Doe, Jane Smith, Jane Jones, Jane everybody. So why can't we play their stupid game?
You sound angry.
Kidding.
Any other questions?
Okay, so does the law change during elections? Does the law stand for the election? Whatever the current election law is that what stands on election day?
I would think so.
Okay, so is it constitutional or unconstitutional to allow this Prop 2? Is it against our
It's
Constitution?
repugnant to the Constitution in theory, but they don't care.
So how is that legal and binding?
Good question.
Okay, so I know now I'm not a lawyer, and neither are. We're a constitutional republic.
Right.
And the fact is, I don't care what any lawyer says, I don't care what any dang judge says. 2 and 3 were unconstitutional on their face.
Before
The
they were even
Constitution of the
voted on.
United States was written for you and me. It went before 13 colonies, and the people voted on the Constitution. If you read it, it says, "We the people of the United States." We read the Constitution. Amazing thing. They could all read it and understand it, and they all voted on it. It's our Constitution. And these corrupt courts and these lawyers who are officers of the court, and they fool around with all the language of this and that. You and I have the right to say, this is unconstitutional, and it is. The slaughter of children is unconstitutional. We all know about DNA. We all know that a mother carrying a child falls down the steps and loses a child. That child will never be reproduced, ever. Scientific fact. That individual will never be reproduced. And here, for decades and decades, we've allowed corrupt judges, corrupt lawyers, corrupt politicians allow this to go on. And now we have a very unconstitutional thing that was passed. Where was our Supreme Court? That never should have made the ballot, ever. The same thing with the election thing. Unconstitutional, number 2. Unconstitutional on its face.
Isn't it up to us to do something?
We have to put pressure on these people, and somehow we have to make sure they understand that we pick them out one at a time. It's like these companies. Hear people, oh, let's boycott these 6 companies. No, you boycott one. You put them right out of business.
Take them to court.
Okay, then you go to the next one. So we got to pick a judge, a corrupt one, and we got to get them out of there no matter what it takes. That's the project this year. Get rid of that creep. Ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution's ours. It's not theirs.
Yes.
Their job is to interpret it and defend it. They take the oath, I will defend the Constitution of the United States, and then they... I was going to say something bad that they do on it. But anyway, they do. They poop on it. They could care less, and yet we're paying them. But you're right, Sandy. This stuff is so corrupt that it's enough to make you sick. But our current election law today is what is the law, not that part, that thing we just passed. Although now I'm not sure when it takes effect. I'm sure there's a date
45 days.
where it takes effect. But anyway, no, the Constitution makes me bitter as hell. And it's a wonderful document. No one pays attention to it. Our local elected officials, none of them got a clue. They don't even look at it.
Mark, you got questions down over
I'm
there.
sorry, question?
U.S. Supreme Court in 1997, Foster versus Law, ruled 9-0 decision. The election day means election day. Ballot counting starts at midnight. That's when it's over. So the proposal number 2 is unconstitutional, and by the United States Constitution, any law is passed by anybody, by the Senate, by the Congress, is null and void. Now, this decision in 1997 by 9-0 by the Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court, that actually void this proposal number 2. Now, what are we going to do? We just make a petition and go after, so they never can actually pass this proposal number 2. And it's the same thing for proposal number 3. Proposal number 3 is unconstitutional. The United States Constitution states very clear for everybody, even for second graders, to know every law being passed by Senate, by anybody, by the judge. There's so many corrupt judges out here, you know, it's parties of judges, it's unbelievable. You know, I told the judge, the circuit court judge, I told him, man, I actually stated the Constitution, and I told him, you come to court unprepared. You come to court, you don't know what you're ruling. So he make me a contempt to the court. I said, fine, you know, you make me a contempt to the court because you are not qualified to be on the bench. So why not elect leaders, we do not elect rulers, we elect servants. So they have to serve the us. Anybody who doesn't like it can jump on the list. So we elect only public servants. When that be restored, then we have power on our hands. Otherwise, we're just sitting around and talking. We have to act. We have to act. We have to hold every damn elected official accountable. If you do not work, man, go in every meeting, send them an email, call them. I call them, and I call them, I talk to them, and they know it. They know it. They don't want to talk to me because they know I ask them questions they don't like. We do not work for lobbyists and mobs. We do not have a rule of mob. We have a rule of law. In the United States of America, that's what it stands for. And that's why I came here. I'm a political refugee. So I did politics back home. That's why I'm here, because I was persecuted there. So I was persecuted, I was beaten up, and I explained everything to the judge, to the federal judge. And I have asylum, I have a protection from tortures, and I have withhold from protection from removal in the United States.
All right, thank you, Giovanni. Thank you.
And the only reason I'm here is because of that Constitution. Because the freedom, the American people stand for the freedom. And for freedom all the world. Now, what happened? What happened? We're going to just give up to those lobbyists and mobs? No. We're not. We're not. We're going to fight and we're going to win.
I have a question. Now that we know there's been fraud again, and in 2020 nothing happened, so what happens now? What do we do? Is there a revolution we finally start? So where do we go? So we know there's fraud. We've seen the fraud. There's evidence with the fraud. Go to a judge, they're as corrupt as anybody, so nothing happens there. So what do we as a people do now that we can't wait a year or 2 or 3 or 4 years down the road? We need to do something now, collectively. There's enough of us to do something. Where's the leadership, and what do we do?
Well, what Giovanni said is true. Even our election we just had is illegal. Absentee voting is illegal. Why do we do it? So many of us do absentee voting that gives them the opportunity to cheat. If there was only, in Macomb County, instead of 100,000, if there was only 75 people did it, what could they do with that? I mean, we got to start considering election day. Now, besides that, like you said, what can we do? It seems so doggone hopeless at this point. But one thing we can do, we have things in front of us. We have to remove all the leadership of the state party in Michigan. That's one thing. We have to create
in February, delegates vote on state party.
We got a platform. We have to put it back where it was. Get rid of these leftist socialists that have been elected pretending they're Republicans, like Shirky. That guy's nowhere near a Republican. To call him a rhino is a blessing. I mean, these guys are terrible. So I know we don't have a lot of time, but we got to start there because it's available. We got to make sure that these district chairs all go. Every one of them goes. We got a couple temporary ones in Macomb County, and they're no dang good, either one of them. We got to find good people for district chair. I'm sorry. Question? But I'm stuck too. I understand how you feel. We got to find avenues to get. Maybe we should be going to local county commissions. Maybe we should be going to our local township like they do in Shelby and just demand that they do something. And they're going to say, I know the county commission, believe me. Well, you know, that's not our venue. And you know, with that, our job is, no. You stand there and say, you're not getting nothing done today. You're not going to do nothing. But you're going to stand up and you're going to declare this election null and void. That's what you're going to do in Macomb County. Or that's what you're going to do in Shelby. And you're not doing nothing else until you do it. We got to start making demands on these people.
Yeah.
I've lost control.
Can't hear it out there.
Yeah, maybe county commission or something. That'd be a good idea, maybe. Okay, we have to think about all these things, because that's you know, if we don't pack that town 300 people. Yeah, I'm sorry. Any other questions? Just a second. Yeah, he had his hand up for quite a while. Can you people hear us? We have to be careful how we use the microphone, right?
I just have to ask, as a matter of law, for the abortion proposition, how would this be constitutional? Because the way that I've read it, it'd be void for vagueness under prevailing constitutional law. Furthermore, now that there is evidence of fraud and that it has been considered an effort, at what point do we consider accusations for high treason?
Absolutely is high treason. So maybe that's what we should be saying at county commission. You people are traitors if you don't stand up right now and say this election is corrupt. We don't accept this election. It is corrupt. We want it investigated. Maybe we should do that.
You want?
I will say under Michigan compiled laws, I don't know the exact statute, but I've read it before. Treason is a 10-year sentence in state prison. And at the federal level, it's capital punishment. And so if any of us did any of that here, if any of us, we would be dancing from the end of a rope. Make no mistake. So why are these people immune to such?
I believe that's a plan of theirs. That's why the Department of Justice says that moms are what?
Domestic terrorists.
Terrorists. Moms are terrorists. This is all planting seeds for the future. That's right. We'll talk about that in a second.
Wait, this guy's been standing up for a while.
All right, I want to talk about the proposals, the ballot proposals that that got passed. Now, I went to an event, where Pat Colbeck was talking, and this was back before those ballot proposals even, got on the ballot. And I asked him, okay, well, what if the worst case scenario happened, and he got on the ballot, and it did. And I says, well, then what happens if it actually passes? Now we're here. So I asked him, what can we do now? And he says, really not very much. That was basically we're kind of toast. But my question is, since this was put on as a ballot proposal, can we overwrite that as a ballot proposal and send that and overwrite the Constitution? That part of the Constitution, or is there another way through the legislature for them to change that? Do you know what I understand? Besides, doing a ballot proposal?
There are avenues of changing the Constitution. Our legislature is a bunch of deadbeats who are not going to do a damn thing. So until we can start changing them out, they're useless. They're all bought. They're terrible.
And that's
So
why I'm asking.
we can do a ballot proposal. But look what happened last summer. In our office, we were a hub for how many ballot proposals?
Oh, probably
how
at least
many
20.
conservative ballot proposals were there? And we collected, I say we collected, you guys collected. We were a hub. The office was a hub. People would give us empty ones and come pick up the full ones all the time, over and over and over, thousands of ballots. None of them got on the ballot, did they? Not one conservative one with all the work, all the effort, all the signatures, not one got on the ballot. Where'd these three come from? I was never confronted by anybody, hey, would you want to sign this thing?
No, never.
Where'd they come from? Where's the Supreme Court? So I like what she's saying. We have got to get more vocal. We got to get more like these filthy communist creeps that are taking over our country. So maybe we should plan this. After we get past this convention, maybe we should start thinking about what can we do to put pressure on elected officials. I don't care if it's your job, a county commissioner. Well, what do we got to do about election? I don't care. Defund the clerk.
Yes.
Stand up and declare the election is corrupt. Declare it. We begged Tony Ferlini. That's Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa was a good friend of Tony.
We
We begged Tony Ferlini. He was a brand new clerk. He was not a clerk at the 2020 election. He got elected. By the way, everybody told us that we'd never get him elected, but we did. But anyway, so we begged him, Tony, all you got to do is what I can do as a citizen. You're a clerk of an important county. You stand up and you say this. Imagine, you're a new clerk, right? You stand up and you say, look, what do you call it, news conference? I'm calling upon our state government, our governor, and everybody else to do a forensic audit of our election. Yes. I was just elected. I was not here. And personally, I've been looking into things, which you claim to do. I've been looking into things on my own, and I don't really see a problem. However, my citizens that I represent are hounding me all the time. And I think that we should prove to them that our elections are fine and have a complete forensic audit.
By the company that made the
What's so hard about that? And that damn coward wouldn't do a damn thing. Nothing. He told us personally, because we knew him. He's a friend. He said Trump won. He told Lisa and I personally that he knows Trump won. Just like we all know Trump. That's what we elect, is these damn politicians.
Then
The problem is he's a
Castiglia got
lifetime
killed.
politician. He was in the House, he was in this, he was in that. He worked for Candace Miller. You know, they get a retirement check. You and I, if you're blessed to get a retirement check, you got to do it for 30, 35 years, but not public officials. Oh no, I'm a county clerk for 4 years, I get a pension. Then I go to the House for 2 terms, I get a pension. Then I do this, ask Candace Miller, she must have 6 of them. Well, you and I are struggling paying their taxes. So these people better start doing the job, because we're going to find a new clerk.
That's right.
Somewhere, one of you, if Tony Ferlini can be a clerk, anybody in here, we could put everybody's name in a hat, draw one out, and get a clerk. We can, God, honestly. These people are not smart, they're corrupt. I'm sorry, I'm going on.
Go, Bart!
I just do one thing. That's what I'm doing. People, we have got to educate. We're 300 strong here at least, right? All right. The people on the other side of that wall going out on the Van Dyke here, they don't know what we're talking about. The most important thing that we can do as a party is to educate the public. Everything that we do is called educate the public. Okay? The churches have done great jobs in putting together items for their congregations, okay? But we have to do this. We have to do this. We have to educate. And we also have to demand transparency from every part of our government. Every part, not just Lansing, but our municipalities. We need to demand transparency. We want to know what they're doing. Thank you.
That's right.
Wait a minute, wait, Mark.
So now, also,
Wait 1 second. Everybody's screaming back there. You're talking about education?
Yes.
Educating the public? We've been doing that. We've done it and done it and done it. And guess what? Nothing happens because we have a corrupt system, we have a corrupt voting system, and it doesn't matter.
But
the
don't
fraud
give
is
up.
there.
We tried to do it is not a statement. We tried it before.
We've done
and
it.
Yeah. What I'm trying to tell you is,
We keep doing it.
you can't give up. Okay?
We're not giving up. We're going to have, we need an unrest in this country.
I wasn't yelling at you.
Unrest.
I wasn't yelling at you.
I'm not yelling. I'm very passionate. I'm not yelling.
Okay.
Okay, so the thing is, we got to start confronting these elected. Remember, who's that California whack job running around saying, impeach 45, impeach 45? Yeah. Remember she said, get in their face. Don't let them be at peace in restaurants. I do not agree with all that. Yeah, Maxine Waters. Boy, there's another brain trust. How did she get there? So anyway, we do have to get in their face. I'm not talking about that whack job in restaurants and things. I'm talking about at their meetings. We got to get in their damn face. What are you going to do? You know there's fraud. All the citizens know there's fraud. You know there is. You declare there's not. When are you going to get off your butt and do something? And don't even let them conduct their business. Stay at it, and make them get the police and remove you. And next meeting, do the same thing. Organized flash mob. We know that Tony Perlini don't like bad press. He do not like bad press. Let's give him some. But anyway, before you start leaving, please consider getting a ticket to this dinner. It's going to be a great fun, okay? We've got to do these things. So anyway, it's here.
Just quickly, I want to know what happens on that top 3 when some of these kids start dying, or they get injured, bleed out. Are they going to sue the doctors? What are you going to do? Are they saying they can't? But there's been people who have filed against the COVID for the 10 vaccinations and won. In the UK, not here in the United States. But you're going to see a lot of injuries in children once they start these manipulations of hormones and such, because I used to work in a clinic where they did those.
Deborah? Even a motion?
We'll see.
Okay, one couple more questions. It's 20 to 9. Let's go until quarter to 9. Mark. Got a question over here. Let's do one here.
Why can't we, as a whole, start now to make a motion for a forensic audit? Start here with all of us, and make a ripple effect go out all over Michigan.
So, there's a suggestion here, but during the official meeting, but we went through this. I got another question over here.
Mark, she announced a We the County meeting.
Terry has a question.
It'll take 2 seconds. Hey guys, I'm just going to take 2 seconds of your time. So I chair the We the County chapter of Macomb, not St. Clair, Macomb. And this is actually what we're organizing, is trying to get people to show up at city clerk, county commissioner meetings. Our next meeting is at Metro Church of Christ on Dodge Park, November 21st at 7 o'clock. We need people, like you guys are saying, you gotta show up as a group. You know, we get 10, 20 people once in a while to come to our meetings. You get 100 people to show up to. I worked at a Warren precinct where a lot of fraud went on. You show up to a Warren city clerk, city council meeting, 200 people strong, you'll get hurt. But you gotta show up. So November 21st, if anyone wants to detail, you can come see me.
And also make sure we have that information. We'll put it on our newsletter.
I emailed it already.
Okay, just one question. One more question, then Debbie, and then maybe we should call it a day.
Actually, I want to make a statement. I wanted to answer the question, but everybody was frustrated about what we can do. First of all, we got to get involved with our local politics, correct? We need our sheriff to step up. We need our chief of police to step up. We need election integrity units. We need somebody looking into crime. If nobody's looking into these crimes, nobody's going to be prosecuted. No evidence is going to be gathered, and nobody's going to be prosecuted. So So we need to do that. We need to also take action at our on election day at our ballot boxes, going prior to election to look at verifying our signatures. The Democrats do it all the time. Republicans, they don't do it. We need election integrity units in our police and our county law enforcement. We also need our prosecutors. If you remember, Pete Lucido ran on that. He was going to have a political corruption unit, correct? Well, I'm waiting to see that. And I love Pete, and I hope he's got it in the works. But there's no other way to do that unless somebody's looking at it. If we're not being looked at, nothing's going to change. But each and every one of us can do that by looking at it and being our eyes and ears. Go to law enforcement. And nothing more important than that sheriff's office. That's the most powerful position in your county. He can make a difference. He can have these units there to take care of it.
I just want to make one challenge. That's all I got to say. This room tonight, after everything that we've gone through and everything that we believe together, should be doubled or tripled in the amount of people that showed up tonight. Now, this is a wonderful crowd. But when I look at the numbers up there, and all the hundreds and thousands of people that voted in this state, and primarily even in Macomb County, here's my challenge. That at the next Macomb County board meeting, 1 month from tonight, the second Thursday of the month, that every person in this room, and married couples you don't get to count as one, every single person in this room, the challenge is to bring one person next month. That's your challenge. Who's with me? Let me see a hand. One person that you bring next month. Oh, great, there's no meeting next month. Let me recant. Let's start with the Christmas party on December 8th, getting our tickets. But by the first of the year, in that meeting, every person bring one individual, and let's see how we fill this room. Then we can begin to educate.
Right.
I know that a lot of people are not going to find what I say very appealing, but it needs to be said. Regarding the Proposal 3 and what is going in our schools, what can you do about it? Look up what's going on in your pediatrician's office and how you have to ask permission of your 12-year-old and your pediatrician to look at your 12-year-old's medical records. Parents are so uninformed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the school boards and I'm going to go to the pediatricians. I'm going to say, well, since you feel that you can talk to my child without my permission about changing their sex, changing their gender, about taking birth control, having an abortion, then you better educate them on what that is. So I'm going to demand the full video of the procedure, every form procedure of abortion, K through 12. Because they're showing this crap to our kids in kindergarten through second grade. Let's make them man up, stand behind what they say. They say our kids are old enough to make these decisions on their own and we don't have a right. Well, then you better give them all the information. You damn well better show them ripping that baby apart in the womb. Show that to my 7-year-old, to my 9-year-old, to my 12-year-old. That's how we're going to educate our kids, right? That's how we're going to do it. Hold them accountable. They can't have it both ways. They can't play both sides. Go to your pediatrician. I want you to show my child a video of an abortion, a late-term abortion. Well, you're saying that I can't have, they don't even have consent to have one, so you need to educate them on what that looks like. Sounds god-awful, right? It sounds sickening, right? Put it back in their face. Demand accountability.
I know you usually begin with prayer and go in with prayer, but this is so heavy on my heart. I've been claiming 2 Chronicles 7:14, which says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and I will heal their land. I claim 2 Chronicles 7:14, and I hope you can too, to pray for our land.
Amen.
So anyway, it's about 9:40. You want more questions or comments? I mean, this, it's up to you guys. Before we get adjourned. We can go right on the clerk's website. You can stop in the office. I can show you how. It's very simple. All the precincts are there. It shows you what's empty. And so we can check yours. Your elections. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks for putting up with us. You guys are great. We got to work together. I think there's some great. We have to put pressure on these elected officials. We can't just let them get away with this for 2 years. We got to embarrass them, put pressure on them. Thank you for being here. And please consider getting a ticket for that dinner.